Washington Building Congress is pleased to present the Craftsman Hall of Fame. This honor is in recognition of enduring commitment, exceptional skill, quality craftsmanship, and extraordinary dedication.
My name is Mike Breece. I am a retired electrician from Local 26. I actually retired back in May of 2021. Previously, I'd worked for J.E. Richards for 25 years. I was with Diner for about 5 years and a small contractor for a couple years in between there.
Name's David Kirby, grew up in Edgewater, Maryland. Spent 43 years working for Boatman and Mignani. Loved the company, loved the trade, loved going back and seeing what we accomplished.
My father owned a construction company, so during the summer we would do different things. We would do roofing one year, or do framing one year, or doing something else. So it really taught me how things are built, how they're put together. If there was any problems, you had to do troubleshooting. You had to research where the problem was going and where it came from. And I learned it and picked it up.
I graduated high school in '81, went into the trade with my dad for about 9 months, went into the Navy in early '82, got out in '85, and came straight back into the trade at the Sheraton Grand Hotel on New Jersey Avenue with Dad, and Reggie Studenti was actually running the job.
I graduated from high school, from Langley High School in McLean in 1975. Went to school for a couple years to be an architect, took mechanical drawing, and that kind of faded out a little bit. So a buddy of mine was an electrician, so we got to get into wiring houses, small houses and townhouses, and then got into custom homes. Then I ran into a guy who was working for the local, and I went ahead and applied for the apprenticeship program and took it from there.
My dad was one of the first non-Italians in the trade. My older brother, Mike, was in the trade. He was superintendent for Boatman and Mignani, and I spent 4 or 5 years as a helper, and then I got my apprenticeship in 1990. Like I said, been with Boatman my whole career. Done a lot of jobs, been at the White House, the Willard Hotel. The WilmerHale's the most recent big job that I ran. That was like 17,000 square feet of white marble. It's a lot of fun, radial stairways and stuff like that. And been everywhere. Worked on Jeff Bezos' house, massive project for a house. A lot of work, a lot of hard work.
It all started with carrying MC up the stairs and carrying pipe, the grunt work, just getting the material to the mechanics and making sure they had everything they need. That's one of the ways that I learned, because I'd sit there and I would watch the mechanics put the work in and how they installed it. And you can tell the craftsmen, and you can tell the guys that are just kind of slamming it in. So kind of worked with the guys that took pride, took their time, and kind of put it in.
When you come in as a helper, it's all grunt work. So you get pretty strong pretty quick. There's not a weak person in the trade. Get up at 3 o'clock, drink a cup of coffee, get to the job by 5:15. If there's a truck on the job, you instantly start unloading the truck. You don't wait. Just prepping everything, getting everything ready, and listening to the mechanics yell at you to get more. You have to have a phenomenal work ethic, because there are days for all of us you don't want to go. You're working outside and it's 20 degrees. Nobody wants to be outside all day in that, but you have the work ethic, you have the drive and the desire to do the job.
Back when I was younger and I was coming up, working in a trade or working with your hands wasn't really a big deal. My dad worked with his hands, my uncle worked with his hands, they all could do stuff. So I was brought up the same way. But these kids nowadays, they don't want to work, they don't want to do a damn thing, man. You want to put that on there. They don't. They want an easy ride. It's terrible. I'm gonna speak the truth, it's freaking terrible.
I'm still in the habit of getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning, even though I've been retired now for almost a year. I was lucky enough that Clyde Wilson, who still works for Boatman and Mignani, taught me how to drive a forklift. Pretty proud of the fact that I've probably handled 40,000 crates and only dropped one. That one almost cost me my job, I think.
I drew a hard line. I mean, it was, even when I ran work, it was, you showed up, you did your job. If you didn't, you were fired. I mean, it's not a playground. I mean, I used to tell these kids I quit school because I had recess. So I had a kid working for me, and I was tough on this kid, but this kid had potential. I mean, I knew he had potential. So I put him with this one guy who was a little rough, but he was very good at bending pipe, big pipe, just heavy work, big pipe. And this kid, he did not like me. I rode him very hard. And then a couple years later, I got a phone call one day, and it was this kid that was that's calling me. He says, Mr. Breece, he says, I cannot thank you enough for what you did for me. He said, you actually put me in another level that I didn't think I could be at, and it put me in a better place, and it made me a better person. I mean, that's a good feeling. So it's, you know, even though being sometimes a hard ass and being that hard guy in the end, you know, once you get to the end and everything's all said and done and the dust is all settled, and then everybody's smiling, everybody's got the awards, that's the goal at the end.
In '86, what was I, 23? I fell off the top of an open container, and when I hit the bed of the truck, a steel brace came down and hit me right in the mouth, blew out all my teeth. I forget the name of the hotel, but it's at 22nd Street and M Street. We were doing that job, and me and Mike were unloading a truck, and I felt my back pull. Go up to the hospital and get x-rays and stuff done, and come to find out I had blown my L5 into 3 pieces. Wound up having back surgery, missing 10 months of work. And of course, I've had 2 knee surgeries, you know, from on the job. It's like I say, it's physical. My shoulders hurt, my knees hurt, you know, everything aches. But once you get up and get moving, you're okay.
When I first got in the union, one of the first jobs I worked on was the USA Today building down in Roslyn. And we were working 7/12s, and we were doing, I mean, it was just overtime, 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. It was just nothing but go, go, go. I remember sometimes I had a little van. I used to sleep in my van at work. At night, I used to get up the next morning, brush my teeth, and go right back up and go do the job. That's where I learned all the right ways to do stuff, is with these guys that worked on these jobs.
Capitol Visitor Center jumps out. It's my only star award. That was 300,000 square feet of stone underground. It was almost 600 tractor trailer loads of stone. And at times we had almost 100 people on the job. We were there for almost 5 years. I think the biggest stones we set on my end were about 1,400 pounds, and they were all the way on the top of a 40-foot wall. That was just a huge job, and it came out so perfect. And every craftsman on that job, every helper on that job, just gave it everything they had. And to be recognized, that just means everything to get the Star Award, because most people don't ever get one.
My second most memorable job that I won was with my son. And that was with a job that we did, Latham & Watkins. We were nominated for a Star Award. It was a lawyer firm down in DC, multiple floors. They took the 2 center floors and they renovated them. And they cut a big stairwell in. We had to refeed all the other floors. We had to keep, there was an amazing lockout, tag out, over hundreds and hundreds of locks that had to be kept track of. And walking on stage with my son, winning that award was a very special time for me.
I wanted to win awards, but I mainly wanted to do the job as well as my dad and my brother did. You know, because I know how good they were and what people thought of the respect that my father and my brother got. I wanted that more so than the awards.
I look back at my career and how I started, how I got into it, the ups and the downs. I put a lot of effort into this trade. And I think whatever you put into something, you get back out of it. So I dedicated a lot of my time and a lot of my effort into an education and doing a good job and being the best electrician that I could. The trade has treated me very well. To win this award, after everything else I've accomplished, is truly means a lot to me. You know, you go through life, I've been, you know, breathing air in this life for 68 years. And then to be nominated or be inducted into the Hall of Fame for a trade that you worked for over 30 years is amazing.
To get into the Hall of Fame is just, it's the recognition for a career of giving you everything you had and doing all the, you know, all the jobs from the good to the bad. It's hard to describe. It's like winning an MVP trophy, you know, to be recognized to go into the WBC Hall of Fame.
It is with great pride that we present this year's inductees to the Craftsman Hall of Fame.